Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tanner's Favorite Things. I'm Tanner Knight, and today we're going to be talking a little bit more about this guy right here. This is the Vox AC10C1 that I recently picked up in a trade, and I've been getting more and more acquainted with over the last couple of weeks. So if you haven't checked out that video where I introduced you to this amplifier, go ahead and check it out in the description below. I'll have that video linked, and you can see the whole kind of rundown of my first impressions of the amplifier. But I had a few more goals that I wanted to accomplish with it, so we're going to go ahead and start there today. One of those goals was to swap out the speaker. We have a 10-inch Celestion creamback speaker, and that is stock in this bad boy. This is the Celestion version. There's a couple different other speakers, I believe, that come stock in this amp, but this is the Celestion version. So we're going to swap out that creamback for an Alnico Blue Pup. And I positioned this amplifier up here for now because right now that Blue Pup is installed in this Vox AD30, which is a 10-inch speaker, 30-watt solid-state modeling amp by Vox. So Vox tube amp, Vox modeling amp, 10-inch speaker, and 10 watts, 30 watts, but that's kind of hard to do apples to apples, watt to watt solid state versus tube. So we won't do that, but in any event, this is where that speaker currently resides. This is my upstairs amp. I just use this as my kind of living room amp if I want to turn on a quiet-ish amp and jam around a little bit, and it works great. I love this amp. It's got a lot of great usable tones, and I even think I did a video on it a while back. I'll try to find that and link it as well. Otherwise, we're just going to rob the speaker from it for now. We're not going to swap them and see what they sound like, maybe in a future video. But for now, I just want to rob the speaker from that one, put it in this amplifier, and see if having an Alnico speaker does any difference as far as the sound is concerned. So that's what we're going to do today. But first, I wanted to do one other kind of quick test. And I've already done it, so I'll tell you that it works. There's no mystery here. But there is an output for an extension cabinet. So we're going to plug in this orange 2x12 cabinet that has two creambacks. So we're going to go creamback to creamback in a much larger format. So that'll hopefully give us an inkling about what's going on with the speaker and speaker choice. So 10-watt amp, all creambacks for now. Eventually, we'll swap out this Blue Pup in this amplifier here, but let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like just to give ourselves a baseline. The AC10 is a tube amp, so it takes a second to warm up. All right, here's what this amplifier sounds like. By the way, we're playing a PV accelerator guitar. There's a few different versions of this guitar that PV made, the Accelerator, Accelerator X, Accelerator X Plus, Accelerator Plus. There's a couple different variants, so this is just the regular old PV Accelerator, but it is crafted in the USA, so this is a kind of Stratocaster-esque guitar. I believe it does have a Gibson-esque 24 3/4 inch scale length. But we're not here to talk about the guitar. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information here. We got a humbucker. I switched this out for a Seymour Duncan, a single coil form factor. I think it's a little 59. Could be wrong about that. I'll link that video below, and that'll have the correct pickup. So we have this guitar. So I swapped out that bridge pickup for a humbucker, and now it sounds like this. If we go to the neck, you can hear quite a bit of reverb in there. I'm going to dial that back. I think the reverb is there. I'm just going to kill the reverb entirely for the purpose of this demo. This amp does have reverb on it. You just heard it. But, you know, I find that can muddy the signal a little bit, even if it is coming directly from the amp. Okay, so there you go. We're playing the PV Accelerator guitar. We're primarily going to be in the humbucker, but I'll switch it here and there just to give you a little variety. That is what the actual onboard Celestion creamback speaker sounds like today. Let's go ahead and put a little dirt in there, just the Ibanez Tube Screamer, and see what this speaker sounds like, a little rowdy, and then we'll kick it over to this orange 2x12. Great sounding amp. The combo is really where it's at with these Vox AC amplifiers. They do make heads of the AC30 and the AC15, but I don't think they make a head for the AC10. You gotta buy this one as a combo, and it just rocks. It's great. So that's the AC10. Let's go ahead and utilize the amplifier, but move it over to an extension cabinet. There's just a single 1/4 inch output from the back of the amplifier, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plug that in. Quick sound check. So the waveform on the DAW looks like it's pretty close. Surprisingly, I figured this one would be a little bit louder, but it looks pretty close side by side. So here's that amplifier with the tube screamer. We haven't changed from that, so we're still in the little dirty channel, but we're on the right side of this 2x12 cab. The microphone today is an E906 from Sennheiser. This is a pretty standard dynamic cabinet microphone, and yeah, it's my primary guitar microphone. So here we go. It just sounds great. I mean, what more could you want from an amplifier? Just for kicks and giggles here, let's kick off the tube screamer and hear the clean. Really chimey, nice and gorgeous. It has that Vox characteristic, but it is a lot louder coming from this side with the two speakers than just the one single 10-inch. And that makes sense. I mean, that's just physics. You have two speakers. Theoretically, they should be louder even with the same amount of wattage. So now that we have this bigger speaker cabinet hooked up to this amplifier, let's hear what it sounds like with a little more crunch. I'm gonna engage the Friedman Circompre, which is a compressor pedal and kind of a crunch pedal, and just that pedal alone engaged. It adds a little crunch. It's not too much gain, but I'm then going to add the SD1 Super Overdrive from Boss. I kicked off the compressor at the end there and just went with the Super Overdrive for the last 3 notes. But yeah, I think that this amp will never do high gain stuff great. And I think asking it to do so is a little bit much. So I'm going to do it. Don't worry, I want to see what the limits are. But I think that's probably the limits. Let's just, for shits and giggles, see what the Metal Zone sounds like. So yeah, not the prettiest or most useful metal sound. This amp will never be that. So there you go. Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. But it's still a very capable amp for most rock sounds, and I think the tube screamer is the sweet spot. If we just engage that tube screamer, kick this humbucker all the way on, all the way open in the tones. Really nice, usable rock tones. It's not too crazy on the dial if you just leave it. It will feedback if you take your fingers off the strings, but you know, just be mindful of that. It is a little more gain in the signal, and this amp is very sensitive to gain. So that's with the settings on the amp that I've determined are the best for me, but you know, that might change over time. I still haven't owned this amp more than 1 full month at this point, so it hasn't gotten its full paces put through, but you know, we'll get there, and hopefully we'll understand more as we go. But now we know this thing works great pushing an extension cabinet. So here's one more thing to note about this combination amplifier. I don't know if this is the case with all Vox combo amps, but with this one, if you plug in that extension cab, it bypasses the 10-inch speaker altogether. I have a feeling it has to do with matching impedances and speaker sizes, and they just decide, let's not give anyone the option to hurt this thing by pairing it with something that just doesn't work. So they take the 10-inch out of the circuit altogether, and all full 10 watts are going to the extension cabinet. So something to note. I wasn't 100% aware if that was the case or not, but it is the fact here. Unlike this PV Encore, which has 2 channels that come out of the back of it, one of which goes to the 12-inch on board and the other goes to the extension cord, then you can pick and choose whether you have all 3 speakers in the mix or not. You don't have the option on the Vox. It's just one output, and it takes the 10-inch out of the mix. All right, let's see what this thing sounds like with the Blue Pup now. Well, if you've ever wondered what the inside of one of these 8030 or 8015 amps look like, this is it. Pretty bare bones, but it has all it needs. This is the Vox 8030 by the way, if you didn't get that. But just wanted to give you a little peek inside here, and there is the Weber Blue Pup that we will be using. All right, this one has significantly more screws on the back, so let's see what's on the inside. All right, here's a good look at our cream back and our tube complement. These were probably our EL84s if I had to guess. I think the 12AX7s are much smaller than that, but there you go. That's what the inside of this amp looks like. You have this big plate here that is protecting the transformer and stuff. Oh man, this is gonna be a pain to get out of here. I guess you gotta take the whole amp out in order to replace the speaker, so all right, there is the amplifier. Yeah, you can see the 12AX7s right here. So, pretty nifty little device. Otherwise, that is the entire cabinet. I love when cabs use machine screws because it's just much nicer to screw these in to machine screws than wood screws. I got the clutch set pretty light at around 5 just because I don't want to strip these machine screws, but that feels pretty good right there. Oh crap. I don't know if this is going to fit because this cap is so large. Let's see if we can take it off. What I'm talking about is the height of the magnet. You can see this is way taller, and I didn't even think to try it. So we're going to have to take this off and see what kind of magnet we have under here, which I actually have never done. So let's see what's under the cap. This guy. So I think it's still a little too tall. Yeah, I don't think this is going to fit in here. Nope. Well, damn it. You know, one would think that I don't have to show failures on this channel, but since it happened, I guess this is a kind of good lesson that maybe someone else can learn if you buy this specific speaker to replace the creamback in here. So just know that if you have the AC10C1 or probably any other variant, that the speaker that you choose has to have a certain profile similar to this Celestion creamback. So that's pretty limiting, but something that we're going to have to work with here. So we're not going to get to hear this amp with this Blue Pup speaker. Sad tear face. But hey, there you go. We learned something new and didn't get too far down the line to where it was a huge hassle. So if you want to swap out this speaker, make sure you have probably another Celestion variant like a greenback, or I don't know, you'll have to do some measurements, but that's kind of limiting. Interesting. One of the things you never really think about with a 12-inch speaker cabinet, because there's usually plenty of room in there, but not the case in a 10-inch cabinet. So we're going to stick with the Celestion. Since I've got this Weber Blue Pup speaker opened up, might as well show you what's inside there too. So this is what an Alnico Weber speaker looks like. They do make a 12-inch variety of this Blue Dog speaker, is what they call the 12-inch. So this is the Blue Pup 10-inch variety, and it looks like this. Well, I was really hoping to hear that Weber Blue Pup speaker in this amplifier, but the best laid plans of mice and men. So we'll leave it at that for this video. We at least got to see inside the AC10C1 amplifier. It's something else I wanted to do. It's always interesting to take a peek behind the curtain and see if there's any secrets or interesting things of note. In this case, it was pretty straightforward, just two standard cabinets with small-ish amplifiers. So not much going on there, but they do pack a whole lot of punch, and this amplifier specifically is a really, really versatile small amplifier that, I don't know, I'm really psyched on it. I like it. So let me know what you think if you have this specific amplifier, or if you've used a different speaker in this amplifier and have had success. Let me know, and I'll see if I can hunt one down and give it a shot. Otherwise, if you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. That always helps decide the direction of this channel, and I hope to see you on the next one.